Hey everybody, welcome to part 3 of the Arma 3 Linux dedicated server video series. Today I'm going to go over downloading mods from the Steam workshop and how to get those onto the server. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's get into our Steam user, like typical. Okay, so what I like to do right off the bat is, and you can do this differently if you want, I like to make a separate folder in my home directory under the Steam account called mods, and I like to put the mods there. And I think this is a good way to do it because if you have multiple Arma 3 servers running like on the same machine, you don't have to keep track of the mods if you were to put them inside, for instance, of the Arma 3 server folder. So, like I said, I'm going to put mine on the home directory, so I'm just going to make a directory here called mods. You can see it showed up here. All good there. And then after that, the first thing we want to do is get into the Steam CMD program. And if you followed the previous tutorials, you should be able just to type this in like that and just hit enter and get in. So once we're in here, you might think the first thing you want to do is log into your account. Well, that would be incorrect. Weirdly enough, reading through the Steam CMD documentation, you have to tell where you want Steam to download files first before you log into your account. It's really weird, but it's what the documentation says. And so, for instance, like before we download the mods, we want to, I'm going to update the base game first. So, for instance, like you can't just log in and update the game. You have to type in this command, force install directory, and tell Steam CMD the path to the Arma 3 server installation that you want to update before you log in and update. It's very weird. So we'll run that, and then we will go ahead and log in. And I am going to skip that part. But you will use the login command and then your username. I'm going to skip ahead so you can't see my username, but I'll be back in a second. All right, so we are logged in here. Now the first thing we want to do is, like I said, we want to update the actual Arma 3 server files just to check and make sure everything's good to go. So we're going to type in this command here, app update 233780, which is the Arma 3 server game ID. And then again, dash beta. And since we did creator DLC, we want to validate. And this is just going to check to see if there are any updates for the Arma 3 server. And it looks like there was, so good thing we ran it. Okay, cool. So our Arma 3 server files have been updated. Now, like I said before, you have to tell Steam CMD where to put downloads at before you actually start downloading. So since now we want to download the mods, we have to log out of our account and we have to rerun force install directory. And now we're going to point it to our mods folder that we just created, just like this, home Steam mods. And now we can re-log back in, and I'm going to skip to the part where I'm already logged in. All right, once you are logged in for the second time, we can actually get the mod. So for this example, I'm just going to download the ACE mod, and I'll show you where to go to get the information that you need to download it. So I've already got it pulled up here. Now there's one piece of information you need to download mods, and it's the mod ID. And you can find the mod ID either up here in the URL, it's right here, this number, or if you go to share, you can find it right here too. So all you need is this number, this ID number. Just right click and copy that. And then you're going to go back to your Steam CMD and you're going to type in the following command: workshop download item space. Then you're going to type in the game ID, which is Arma 3, which this is its game ID 107410. Then you're going to put in the mod ID, which that is the mod ID for Ace, and then you're going to put validate. And it's going to download the Ace mod from the workshop into the home/steam/mods folder that we told it to put stuff we download from into. So we'll just give it a second here. It shouldn't take too long. I don't think it's too big of a mod. In fact, let's see, how big is it? Yeah, so a quarter of a gig almost. Shouldn't take too long here. All right, so it is finished and it succeeded. So once that is done, let's go ahead and get out of here. Obviously, you know, if you want to download multiple, just keep running this command and just change. All you have to do is change this bit with the new mod, and you can download as many as you want. But for now, we're just going to download one of them. So once we're done downloading, we can quit out of Steam CMD. And let's see if it actually put it in the mods folder. So we're going to go mods. Then we have to go steamapps. Excuse me. Then we have to go workshop. And then boom. There it is. Right there. Oh, excuse me. That's not right. I think it's downloads. No. There we go. Content. And then, so that's how it organizes things. All the mods for each game you download off the workshop will be put into their game ID number. So for Arma 3, it's this one. So if you download mods for another game, it'll be in a different folder. So remember this path though: mods, Steam apps, workshop, content, and then the mod ID. So we'll go into the Arma 3 mod ID, and if we do an ls, there we can see the Ace mod, and there is all of the files. Boom, boom, boom. Looking good. Awesome. Cool. So there are a few other things we have to do before we can load this mod in and launch our server. So one of the weird things is on the Linux version of the Arma 3 server, if you use mods and if any of the contents of the mod have files that have uppercase letters, it just won't work. It's a really weird thing. It doesn't happen on Windows, but if you go through the Bohemia Wikipedia pages and start reading on the server stuff, you'll find that before you load any mod into the server, you have to come through here and rename all the files and take out any of the uppercase letters. Well, if you can think about that, if you have, more than one mod, that's going to be a pain in the ass. So I have a command for you all that will help you do this, and you will want to do this each time that you either update the mod or install a new mod, right? So what you need to do is you want to run this command inside of this directory. if you run the command inside of the mods directory, well, it's going to rename everything after mods into a lowercase name, and that could break some things. So the one thing you want to be sure before you run this command is to run it from this directory here as far as Arma goes. So we're going to back out. And as you can see, we are in this directory, this 107.410. And for this command, we are going to need a package from the repository. The package is called rename. So if you type that in, hit enter, and it says rename not found, then we need to go ahead and install it. If you already have it, great. You can skip ahead a little bit. But I'm going to show you how to install it, just in case you don't know. It's real easy. However, we cannot install it under our Steam username because it's a non-root user. So we need to back out using exit to our root user, which for yours will be whatever you put in whenever you installed the actual Linux server. And we are going to do sudo apt install rename. Go ahead and give your password. And boom, there we go. Now we can get back into our Steam user and we can do our command. So let's get back, like I said, into our Arma 3 mods folder, which is going to be in mods, steamapps, workshop, content, 107.410. And the command is going to be right like this. I will be sure to put this command in the video description. I would recommend saving it to some kind of text document on your computer for like useful Arma 3 server commands or whatever. But what this is going to do is it's going to recursively search the directories in here, and it's going to rename them to a lowercase if it finds an uppercase letter. The catch with this one, though, and maybe somebody can enlighten me of how to maybe write this command better. The catch is that, for example, let me back out real quick so I can tell you. Let me go into the mod folder real quick. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. So, okay, I'm not seeing one in here. So the catch with that command is, before I run it, I wanted to explain this. The catch is if you have a directory, not a file, but a directory that has an uppercase letter in it, the first time you run that command, it's going to rename the directory to the lowercase version, but it's not going to go into that directory and look at the files or any subdirectories. So you have to run the command multiple times to get every subdirectory and every file renamed to lowercase. And again, if somebody has a better way of doing this, let me know, but this is as good as I got it, and it works for me, so I just keep it this way. So what I'll do is I'll hit enter, and I'll just hit enter. I'll do up arrow and enter just several times. That way I know for sure that everything is lowercase. And if you remember, there was an uppercase file called authors, I think. This should be lowercase now, and it is. So it worked, so we're good. Yep, so everything is good there. So we can go back to our home directory. Let's go into our Arma 3 directory here. Now, how Arma 3, the server, searches for mods is it looks for mods in the server's main directory. So you have to put, so if your server is installed in this Arma 3 folder here, you have to put the mods in this folder. So there's two ways to do this. You can do, obviously you can literally just go through the mods and copy them into here. Or what I like to do, and another reason why I made the mods go into a separate folder, is I like to do symbolic links, and I think that is the better way. So if you want to do the symbolic link way, I will show you real quick. This is the command that I run for this. And again, I will post this in the video description. This is link, and then tac s is for symbolic. And we're saying we want to link all of the folders and files underneath this directory. So the mods, Steam Workshop, Steam App, Steam Workshop content, the Arma 3. We want to link all of these files into home, Steam, and Arma 3. And this way, you also you have your mods in one place. You don't have to copy them anywhere else. You can just leave them in the mods folder, and they'll the Arma 3 server will work just fine. So I will hit enter, and then if I do another ls, we can see our mod right here, and you'll see that it's a teal color. And if we do an ll, you can see that it's a linked file with this L right here, and you can see it points to the actual place where the mod is installed. So cool. So once that is done, once you have your mod in the Arma 3 server, all we have to do is add this mod ID to that command that I showed you guys, the Arma 3 server command, to get the mod going. So I'm going to copy that command that I showed you guys from the previous video, and I'll be sure to put this command in the video description. But the only change we need to make to this command is we need to add the mod ID, and it goes in the -mod parameter. And all you need to do is, if you already have some creator DLC in here or another mod, you just put the colon and then the mod ID that you want to add to the server. 463939057. And then you hit enter, and the mod will load. There is a caveat though. I want to explain. So this actually won't work with the mission that I currently have selected in the server config. And so I'm just going to cancel that real quick. And I'll explain why that won't work is because I know for a fact that the mission that I used for this tutorial doesn't have, I didn't make the mission with this mod loaded in. So when you make a mission in the Eden editor, whatever mods you have loaded into this Arma game, when you make that mission, those mods are now become a dependency of that mission. So for instance, if I have, so for instance, I'll use this example. Since I made that sandbox mission, since I made this sandbox Atlas mission with no mods loaded, if I try to load the Ace mod to the server right now, it'll say, hey, we're missing some stuff. This is not going to work. So that is one thing that you need to be cautious of. But yeah, other than that, that's essentially how you get a mod loaded into your Steam, your server. You can go through and do this as many times as you want. You can just do another semicolon and then another mod number, and just over and over again. So yeah, that pretty much concludes this video, and thank you for watching. I'm going to do a part 4, and in part 4 I'm going to go over how to make the server only accept certain mods. It should be a pretty short video, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.